No time to waste, so let's jump straight in with some of the best Quest 2 and Quest 3 games available today on the MetaQuest store for under $20. We'll be going through games inspired by Doom and Quake, games that let you clone yourself, and so much more. So let's do it. First up, an open world RPG set in a dystopian future where an authoritarian regime has taken over the city. You're part of a resistance movement that fights to free it while swinging from towering skyscrapers like Spider-Man. And I've gotta say, the swinging mechanics in this title feel absolutely amazing and super polished. You'll battle deadly enemies and explore a rich and detailed world with intense gunplay. This game features an immersive campaign and a ton of side quests for you to embark on. You'll really enjoy it if you're one who loves action, adventure, and storytelling. It features a short story filled with likable characters and an open world for players to explore. Newcomers to VR might find it a bit difficult to pick up due to the potential motion sickness while swinging, but those who have built up a tolerance will find Resist an amazing addition to their library. Next on our list, a brain-bending VR puzzle shooter featuring a fight against industrialization and an unforgettable unique core mechanic. Players can record their actions, clone themselves, and go back in time, this time with their past self performing the recorded actions. You can pass on weapons to yourself, dodge incoming attacks, and find the perfect vantage point as you lead the charge for Mother Nature. It features 50 meticulously crafted levels in the campaign and limitless new challenges with the level creator. Ideal for players who love to experiment with different strategies and tactics, as well as for those who enjoy creative and original puzzles. This title challenges you to think outside the box and use your clones in clever ways to overcome obstacles and enemies ahead of you. We Are One also offers a satisfying and immersive shooting experience with the added bonus of being able to toss a gun to your future clone. This next title is my new VR obsession, and I've been playing it a lot lately. I would have included it in the list regardless, but they've also kindly agreed to sponsor this video, and they've given me a 30% discount code on the MetaQuest store for you. So let me tell you a bit about VAIL VR. It's been in the works for 7 years, and this VR competitive shooter has probably the most polished and jank-free physics and mechanics I've ever experienced. Everything from shooting to reloading or throwing grenades feels incredibly well balanced, and this should be the staple for other VR FPS titles when it comes to mechanics. But that's not all this game has to offer, because it features multiple game modes and 12 different maps with over 30 variations, crossplay between platforms, and has recently graduated from being in early access on the App Lab to the full MetaQuest store launch. To celebrate, they're doing a huge giveaway that includes a Savage custom gaming PC, merch packages, and Quest 3 headsets. So check out the video description below to get your copy of VAIL by using the 30% off code and to enter the giveaway. Now let's keep this list going. From the creators of Demeo, this next game is a competitive PvP turn-based strategy game that takes place in a vibrant fantasy world. Players can choose from a variety of champions, each with their own unique abilities and playstyles, accompanied by minions that you must assemble to fight alongside your champion. Featuring 10 maps, each with its own unique terrain and hazards, this is a fast-paced version of the original Demeo. Players must use the cards from their hand, roll the dice to decide on various outcomes, physically move the pieces on the board, and strategize their way to victory in this multiplayer VR experience. Demeo Battles has a bit of a learning curve, especially if you've not played the original Demeo. It's best played with friends, at least until you're familiar with the mechanics enough to partake in online multiplayer. I'm excited about this next one because it's one of my favorite genres in VR and also probably the most realistic melee fighting game. It features immersive medieval combat designed to give players a sword fighting experience that is as close to the real thing as possible. Featuring proper progression, a campaign, powerful bosses, realistic armor physics, and a decent selection of weapons, it's a great pick for players who want a medieval combat simulator but do not enjoy the sandbox nature of titles like Blade and Sorcery. Swordsman VR gives you a realistic and challenging sword fighting game that offers a streamlined campaign which progressively gets more and more difficult as you approach the final boss. I've mentioned this next one in other videos, but its spot here is well deserved. It combines elements of roguelite and dungeon crawler genres with a physics-based combat system to bring you a low-poly pixel art adventure that will remind you of Minecraft, featuring a procedurally generated layout ensuring unlimited replayability as you learn the core mechanics and discover unique items along the way. Roguelike enthusiasts will love it. It's a ruthless game that will punish you without mercy if you make the wrong move, but it will also reward you for learning from your mistakes. If you enjoy procedurally generated dungeons and love the concept of never never knowing what the next room will have in store for you, Ancient Dungeon is an absolute steal at its price tag. Let's switch things up a bit and talk about a multiplayer horror game that pits 4 agents against a monstrous creature from another dimension. The game features asymmetric gameplay where one of the players takes on the role of the Null, a terrifying entity that can switch between 2 forms, a fast and agile Reaper or a slow but powerful Stunner. The other 4 players are agents of the Foundation, a secret organization that opened a portal to the Null's world. The agents must work together to activate terminals, unlock weapons, and escape the Null's wrath. Inverse offers a thrilling experience similar to the traditional asymmetric titles such as Dead by Daylight, but with far more immersion due to it being in VR. Now let me show you a roguelite sword fighting game that challenges you to survive in a seamless procedural dungeon with over 80 enemy variants, 100 weapons, and 60 different perks. And that's before even talking about the crazy selection of mods available for it. Players can choose their own fighting style and pick between melee, ranged, or magic as they faced against a diverse collection of enemies that put up a proper challenge. If you're looking for a game that offers a thrilling and immersive combat experience, Battle Talent is a great choice. It has realistic physics and responsive controls that make every swing, slash, and stab feel super satisfying. Hack and slash in VR while feeling like Spider-Man on steroids in this Doom meets Quake roguelike. It's an intense game that combines the elements of roguelike and shooter genres to create an immersive and thrilling experience for players. It features fast-paced combat, quick movements, and a variety of weapons and upgrades to choose from and unlock. Players are expected to swing and hop across large rooms while shooting and slicing through enemies along the way. Due to its roguelike roots and procedural generation, each run will be unique and challenging. There are also permanent upgrades that will stay with your character, giving you a sense of progression as you experiment with the different abilities and playstyles to find the one that suits you. A VR FPS dubbed the Call of Duty of virtual reality, this game simulates realistic military combat in various scenarios and game modes while keeping it light and easy to pick up. Whether you want to team up with your friends against online foes or fight against hordes of zombies, this game offers something for every VR shooter fan. And the modding community is crazy, with Star Wars, Halo, Counter-Strike, and so much more to experience in it, all at no extra cost and accessible directly through the in-game mod store. Players looking for a competitive multiplayer shooter will love Contractors as it features polished gunplay, good graphics, and has an active community to go along with it, so you'll always find full lobbies to join. There were simply too many great games in the under $20 category, so part 2 of this video is coming soon. Make sure to subscribe and like the video if you've enjoyed it, and here are a few suggestions on what to watch next. I'll catch you soon. Cheers guys!